Hey, welcome to the Podcast Domination Show, where we help you launch, grow, monetize, and dominate the podcasting space. This is a show where we believe that if you can get attention with your podcast, you can influence someone. And if you can influence someone, you can get them to take massive action. And if you can get someone to do that, you, my friend, can dominate. I'm Luis Diaz, your host and founder of Podcast Domination, and I'm your guide. Let's go. What's going on, my friend? Welcome back to the Podcast Domination Show, the show for dominators who want to do more dominating what they do best, right? Today, we are covering the 5 killer, deadly mistakes that podcasters make when launching a show. Now, there are a lot of mistakes I see people make. I make some of them myself or have made them in the past. But today, we're going to specifically hone in on the launch phase. So what people mess up, forget to do, just completely fail at when they're launching their show. So this is the first 8 weeks or so, or also the pre-launch phase of this as well. So before we get into that, I wanted to do a few things. I wanted to give a shout out, personal shout out, a thank you to 2 people. Both of them are coaches of mine, but I went to their events, one in New York and one in San Diego, and they were absolutely amazing and had an awesome time. So thank you to Vince Del Monte for putting out an amazing 7-figure mastermind. Once again, the guy brings in amazing speakers, great guests, and it's always a great environment. And he actually supplied the whole entire weekend. He supplied everyone there in attendance. It was like 70 plus people with Preload, which is his new pre-workout. And man, that stuff gets you going. So thank you to Vince for putting on an amazing event. He's got another one coming up in February in Tampa Bay. I will be there as well. If you want to join, just contact me and I'll help you out. Also, a huge thank you to Craig Ballantyne for putting on an amazing Perfect Life retreat. Guys, if you are an entrepreneur or you are someone who wants to learn how to network, structure your day, and build discipline where you need it to get to the next level, Craig is your guy. And I'm not paid to say that. He's helped me out tremendously in my business, and I wouldn't be where I'm at today without Vince and Craig. And the Perfect Life retreat that I went to about a week ago in San Diego, which is Craig's annual event, was amazing. He had guys like Tim Grover there speaking. He had Shanda Sumter. He had Sharon Shrivastava, billionaire real estate entrepreneur. So amazing guests, amazing speakers, and all the people in attendance were top notch. So it was great to connect with everyone there. All right, cool. Let's jump into our topic for today. But just before that, I want to share with you one really cool tool that I've known about, but I need to probably talk more about. And that is repurpose.io. And repurpose.io is pretty much does exactly what it does, but to a greater extent than I think most people would believe. And also, one quick thing. If you like these growth tools of the week, let me know on Instagram at Luis Ryan Diaz, and I'll keep doing them. I like to do them once a week. I'll share with you guys one tool that I think is really awesome. It's going to help you grow your show. So, podcast growth tool of the week this week is repurpose.io. It's linked in the show notes, but you can just type that in on Google. And this is a really cool tool you can hook up to your feeds. And so basically wherever you are podcasting from, I know some people do Facebook Lives and convert them into podcasts. Some people do just, audio on their computer, or whatever the case may be. Wherever you're recording from, it could be a lot of different places. I believe you can even do Instagram TV, but that's probably coming in a few months. So anyways, wherever you're podcasting from, essentially, you can repurpose that onto another platform and have the whole process automated for you. It's really, really cool. I tested it out myself. So let's just say, for example, you do Facebook Live videos and you want to repurpose them into YouTube and podcast content. Repurpose.io will actually take that Facebook Live video and convert it into a YouTube video, and then also send it over to Libsyn if you have Libsyn. If Libsyn's your hosting provider, or wherever you're hosting at, really, and have that whole process automated for you and even scheduled. So it's really cool. Saves a ton of time. You can also do this if you have podcasts and you want to convert those into Facebook videos. You can do that as well. You can also send them automatically to YouTube, and they have a really cool thumbnail that comes with it. So you set up the colors, you set up how you want it to look, and it comes out very clean and nice. Hani, who is the CEO of this, did a really fabulous job. I know he's doing a lot of work on this tool, making it even better. So this is a great tool if you want to automate and really accelerate your omnipresence in the interwebs. So great tool. I'm going to be using it. So I'm using it right now, but on a smaller scale, just testing it. But I'm going to be using it, rolling it out with hopefully with some of my clients. So be on the lookout for that. Now, okay, I know I've rambled on for about 5 minutes here, but let's get into today's topic: 5 biggest mistakes podcasters make when launching a show. And number one, we can start anywhere of these. They're not in any specific order here. It's not greatest to least or anything. But number one is launching without any kind of incentive for someone to listen to the show. What I mean by that, typically I mean like launching without a contest. But this can be any kind of incentive to get someone to buy in and give your show a chance, a shot. Because if no one knows you and no one really, you don't have any credibility or anything like that, like you need to give people a damn good reason for them to invest 10, 20, 30, 60 minutes of their time listening to your show. So a lot goes into that, but I really encourage people to get creative, give away prizes, give away, once in a lifetime type of things, give away some of your time if you're a coach. But you need to give some kind of incentive that really gives people the make it a really logical, really simple, no-brainer. Like, of course I'm going to listen to Lewis's show because he's giving away $10,000 or something like that. Doesn't have to be that crazy of a number, but you get what I mean. Give away something, give some kind of incentive for people to listen to your show because they don't know you, or maybe they do know you, but they don't know how good your podcast is going to be. You on Instagram and you on a podcast can be 2 completely different things. So you got to get them to buy in somehow, some way. One tip I like to do with this is I like to figure out what kind of companies strategically align with my podcast. If I have a gardening podcast, I'm going to look for companies that sell gardening tools and ask if they can give some free stuff away in conjunction, or in return, I will promote them on my podcast for a month. Something like that, really simple, but you want to make sure it aligns with the goals and the wants of your ideal audience. So you can also look at your industry magazines and figure out what companies are promoting in there. And those companies typically have a marketing budget and an advertising budget. And guess what? They would love free promotion on your podcast with highly targeted listeners that it's going to be a lot cheaper for them than going in that dang magazine. So those are some ways. End of the story. Don't forget to incentivize your listeners, your prospective listeners, to listen to the dang show. Number two is not launching with an explainer video or some kind of highlight reel or something in that initial episode 0, that trailer 0 that you have to upload with. You've got to give people some background, some context. This is like, I always tell my clients, like, think of the about you on your website. This is what that is for your podcast. You got to tell them what the show's about, what to expect, why is it going to be different from other shows, why they should listen. Oh, and don't forget, we have a contest that's going to give you X, Y, and Z. So that is one big mistake. Don't make that mistake. Give them some kind of context. Give them a reason why you're starting this. If you have a movement, let's just say recently at my church, there was a really good video on Christian women who have been battling infertility. I thought to myself, I'm sitting listening to the sermon, and I'm like, wow, like that would be a great podcast. Like, we need to talk about that problem more, actually. Like, we need to get women connected who are struggling with that. So use the explainer video for those kind of things. The explainer video is really to explain why you're there, what you're doing this for, what's in it for them, why is it different, and a lot of context and background as to what you're doing on the show in the first place. So don't forget to launch with that. That is important. It gives people the who, what, where, when, and why about your show. Number three is not doing any market research or surveying your audience beforehand. This is huge. You don't want to guess. You have it's 2018 or 2019, wherever you're listening to this from. But at the end of the day, there are tons of marketing research tools. There's tons of free free tools out there. There's tons of ways you can get on social media and just poll your audience and figure out what they like and make better educated directions or educated guesses instead of just shooting in the wind. So survey your audience at least. Another idea is to have a launch team, get 30 or 40 or 50 people or even more to opt into a landing page. And I talked about this on another podcast. Opt into a landing page and then drip feed them content about the show and get their feedback. So very simple ways to do it, but you've got to be out there doing some kind of market research so you're not launching with absolutely no data behind what you're actually putting out. Number four is this can be a bit broad, but I really think it needs to be fun. Like if you're just launching a podcast as straight information, good luck. Because at the end of the day, the shows that are really crushing it are the ones that are bringing creativity, fun, and a learning experience to the entire platform, however they may do it. If you look at Gary Vee, he brings on wild, crazy people, and he's always in a different setting. He's always repurposing his content as well, so you're getting a little bit of everything on that show. If you look at a guy like Tim Ferriss does some Q&A. Tim Ferriss does some long-form interviews. Tim Ferriss also does some drunk dialing ones. I mean, he does all kinds of stuff. So bring some fun, bring some creativity to the show. At the end of the day, we need to make this a party at the beginning of the launch. So like for me, what I'm going to be doing with this show is eventually in the early days, bringing on my friends who are comedians. They're stand-up comedians, and they want to start a podcast. So we're going to laugh, drink, and have fun and talk about podcasting. And I'm going to help them through it. That's going to be a fun episode. So that is what I'm talking about being fun, being creative. Think about who you can bring on the show, who would be a very, very cool, unique person, or think about where you could do the show. Maybe you're going to, Cancun, or you're going somewhere crazy. And I think that's a great place to start a podcast. Like, give people the context, give people the surroundings, paint the picture in their head. This is how you're creative. This is how you are changing the story, changing the narrative of your show and making it stand out from the others. Number four, that was number four. Number five, not enough promotion. This is the last one. This is one I see a lot of people mess up. And unfortunately, I've made this mistake too. Not enough promotion. You cannot do enough promotion. I'm an advocate of promote more, create less. So it doesn't mean less good content. That means put more effort into the content you're going to create so that it's really, really good and it's really, really worth sharing. And then promote the shit out of it. So a few ways you can do this. Especially before you launch or when you're launching your show, you want to be getting on other podcasts. That's why here at Podcast Domination, we just recently made our highest platinum level package to include podcast guesting. So now I've got someone on my team who does that full time. They are out there looking for other shows to collaborate with and looking to get my clients and our team and our partners on other shows, period. That's important to me. I know it helps grow the show, so I'm going to invest heavily into my clients who want to maximize their exposure. So that's why we did that. But that's one easy way you can do it. Another way is to email your list, email other people's lists by creating an affiliate program, which I talk about in my book, coming out soon. But emailing, getting affiliates on board, getting your email list on board, doing guest posts and guest blogs, doing takeovers. So asking to take over someone's Instagram page or asking to take over someone's Facebook page or their Snapchat for a day. And that kind of stuff is other or guerrilla marketing type of ways to get out there. You can also do paid traffic. One of the things I've been really looking into doing is simply recording a 1 to 2 minute video of like actual video content and using that to promote the podcast. Even though the podcast is going to be audio, mainly 95%, it would be cool to have a little bit of visual in there just at the beginning of the show to give you, so you can see how I look, right? There's also repurposing content on other platforms. So taking your shows, chopping them up into sound bites using a site like headliner.com and making simple audiograms is a great way. Repurposing content on YouTube, transcribing the shows. I like to keep these short. That's why, so I can transcribe them. and doing things like that to promote the heck out of your show. So that's it, guys. Those are the 5 mistakes I see podcasters make, especially in the launch phase, or specifically in the launch phase. Don't make those mistakes. I know there's some big things in there you really got to think about, but if you're going to do a show and you're going to invest money and time into it, I think it's important you do it right and not half-ass it. So if you have any questions for me, be sure to reach out to me over at Luis Ryan Diaz on Instagram, or head over to podcastdomination.co if you want to chat or set up some time where we can talk how I can help you. And that is it for now, guys. I hope you enjoyed this, and don't make those mistakes, for God's sakes. If you don't do anything else today, just don't make those mistakes. I'll catch you later. See you next time. Hey, what's up? It's Lewis again. Really hope you took something of value away from today's show. And don't forget, there's only one thing I want you to do if you need help, if you want to chat about this, if there's any way I can serve you. That is to text or maybe even give me a call at 561-405-7838. That is a Google Voice number that goes directly to my phone, so I will be on demand for you, and we can chat about how we can help you grow, launch, or monetize your podcast. Thanks. I'll catch you next week.